from the ground up, the Moto X was designed with the consumer in mind. So from a form factor perspective, you can see that it's very compact, it's very slim, so it fits nice and comfortably in the hand. We also took the hand as an example of this is how the consumer is going to be holding the device. So we gave it a rounded back, so it closely mimics the natural curvature of the hand. We also tapered the edges and the corners so you get a really nice grip out of it. We didn't stop there. We also gave the display, we used the Corning Gorilla Glass so that you have extra protection against scrapes and scratches. And we also coated it on the inside and out with a water repellent, so including the electronic boards and circuitry inside with a water repellent resin, so you can easily and safely use it in rainy or, if it gets splashed once in a while. Still good there.
So that's submerge it?
No, it's not submersible, it's not submergible, but we coated it with that water repellent coating, so you could, you use it when it's raining or the occasional splash, you have your hands wet, you can still grab it. So that's the hardware perspective and the form factor perspective. But what we're really excited about are the actual experiences on Moto X. And again, to speak to Odil's point, we've done a lot of research about how the consumers interact with their devices. And we wanted to make sure that the smartphone does most of the work for you so that you don't have to. I mean, if you think about it, it's the most personal technology that we own, but it's never truly been that personal. And so we changed a lot of that with their experiences, starting with a quick capture. Quick capture describes, the overall camera experience of the device. So from a camera lens perspective, we've included a clear pixel lens that significantly improves image quality in low light environments as well as fast moving environment. So if you're at a ball game or somebody's swinging that bat, you actually get to capture the bat. Even though it's in motion, you reduce that blurriness significantly. But we didn't stop there. We also put a lot of effort into how the consumer accesses that camera. And with quick capture, all you gotta do is as you're picking it up, you just flick your wrist twice and you're ready to go. You're ready to shoot. So just flick and shoot. And we've simplified the user interface on Moto X so you can tap anywhere and the image is captured. You're no longer limited to a small icon at the bottom of the screen. And of course, for the photography enthusiasts, you're just swipe away to the right and you get your camera settings. And you swipe to the left and you get the pictures that you just took, as well as everything else in your album that you can edit and play around with, basically. Any questions on quick capture? You can zoom in just simply by scrolling up and down. Again, very simple, very intuitive, very natural.
And what we really focused on here was the pocket to taking the picture time.
Reduce the time it takes to capture that moment, because there are moments in life where a couple of seconds matter, right? And again, speaking of action shots, we also included burst mode. So if you tap on it and you hold, you tap and you hold in a sporting event, it keeps going, right? It keeps capturing those images for you. Any questions on quick capture?
How many frames per second is that burst mode?
I'm not actually entirely sure, but you can hear that it's pretty quick. It keeps going there. As you hold your finger, it keeps tapping at it.
And will it keep going indefinitely until you're out of storage?
Yeah, it'll keep going. As long as your finger is there, it'll keep going at it.
Can it also take pictures and shoot video at the same time?
Take pictures and shoot video? You could shoot a slow-mo video. You just tap it and then it turns into slow motion video.
And can you also capture still photos while it's shooting video?
I'm not entirely sure.
Well, I like how the interface goes right through the camera goes right through the interface.
Right, yeah, at the bottom over here it's see-through. And yes, to your point, yeah, you can capture as well as you capture that image as you're shooting the video.
Oh, okay.
I mentioned the clear pixel with the low light environment, but basically from a technology perspective, you have your normal cameras, which is RGB, they have the 3 pixels, but with Moto X we included the clear pixel, so it's RGB-C, that C is a clear pixel, that captures in a LED's light captures the ambient light, as well as the pixel itself is 27% larger than normal RGB lenses. So you truly capture the lighting, the full effect, and enhance the higher quality. Okay. The second experience that I want to discuss, and it's really cool, is how we interact with the device. So it's very natural for us to communicate using voice. And I know there's been other voice solutions out there. However, when we mean voice or voice control or voice command, we truly mean voice, no physical interaction with the device. So it's honed in on your voice and your voice alone pretty much. When the user gets the Moto X, they train it to their voice so that it minimizes false positives, what I want to call false positives. That is someone else commanding their device using their voice. And all you have to do is just say, okay, Google now, followed by a command, and oh, there it is. You can see that I already woke up, so it's already honed into my device, to my voice. Followed by a command, and you get everything that you want. You get to access everything. So for example, let's go through a couple of scenarios. Well, you can use touchless control to make calls, send text messages, navigate, research online, set the alarm, so on and so forth. So let's go through a scenario. You wake up in the morning, you're getting ready, and you're just about to step out of the house, and you don't have to grab your device to see what the temperature is or whether you need an umbrella or a raincoat. You simply ask it, okay, Google now, do I need an umbrella today?
No, rain is not expected today in Toronto. The forecast is 31 degrees and clear.
So you see, it actually recognized very naturally. I said, do I need an umbrella? I didn't ask it what the weather was. I could do that as well, but it's very natural. It recognizes my natural speaking ability. Excuse me. Another way to highlight the natural aspect of understanding the human communication paradigm is if I want to set an alarm, or if I want to wake up early in the morning, or if I want to take a power nap. Let's say I want to take a 25-minute power nap. I could simply ask the device, ask Moto X, okay, Google now, wake me up in 25 minutes.
Setting alarm.
So it set the alarm for 25 minutes from now, basically. So again, recognizing that natural way of speaking. We're also faced, in our everyday situations or everyday scenarios where we can't really use our hands, or it's not safe, or they're full of grocery bags, or so on and so forth. So I could also make calls quickly and without touching the device by simply asking it to make the call for me. Again, okay, Google now, call Tony on their mobile phone.
Calling's Tony on their mobile phone.
So there you go, and it makes the call. We've also made it much simpler to generate or to start making that text message if you want to send a text message by populating everything. All you have to, here, I'll show you a quick example. I want to send a text message informing Tony that I'm going to be 10 minutes late for the meeting. So I simply dictate that with okay Google now. Send text message to Tony. I'm going to be 10 minutes late for the meeting. So you see it recognized who the contact is, and it filled out the entire text message based on what I asked it to do. And it gives you a little delay, so it doesn't send it right away, so you make sure that the contact is correct, as well as that the text is properly spelled. It is what you meant to say. And this actually brings us to another feature that we call Motorola Assist, and it recognizes, if you opt in, it recognizes that whether you're driving in a car or in a meeting or you're going to sleep. So when you're in a car, it automatically, when you make a call, it goes to speakerphone, for example. Unless it's hooked to Bluetooth, then it just goes to Bluetooth. Or when you get an incoming call, it actually reads out who that caller is. And when you get a text message or an email, it could read out those as well. So it recognizes with Motorola Assist the context that you're in. And of course, touchless control has the full access to Google search capabilities. So I have full access to anything I wanna search for on Google. Do you have a favorite actor or anything like that? Let's research our Prime Minister, right? So I'm new to Canada. Let's find out who the Prime Minister of Canada is and find out some information about it. Okay, Google now. Who's the Prime Minister of Canada?
Stephen Harper is the Prime Minister of Canada.
And there are situations where you can actually continue asking questions without repeating the name. Okay, Google now. How old is he?
Stephen Harper is 54 years old.
And you can continue. Okay, Google now. Who is he married to?
Stephen Harper's spouse is Lorraine Harper since 1993.
And so on and so forth, right? So the information that is readily available, it goes out there and it reads it out for you. And if it doesn't find any match, it just gives you a normal Google search. Okay? Any questions on touchless control?
Can you change the profile?
I'm sorry?
Like, can you vibrate make it vibrate instead of ring all loud, whatever?
Actually, so if I have it on vibrate or I have it on low voice or no voice, it recognizes. So it has Moto X has 3 microphones, and it recognizes the ambient noise and it adjusts itself as well. So if it's going to read it, it recognizes that okay, I'm on vibrate or I'm on no noise. So if I'm going to respond, I better scan and make sure that I respond in a very low tone.
How well does this work in a noisy environment?
So that's the beauty of it. When you get it, you train it to your voice so that it's always scanning the environment and listening to your voice. And that's the beauty of the 3 microphones on Moto X. Even in high ambient noise, it still recognizes your voice because you trained it to be your voice. You like a screwdriver, just go flick it twice. You give it a nice good flick. There you go. So you felt the feedback there?
Yeah. It vibrated.
Right.
So how is it able to listen to you constantly without draining the battery?
So that's the beauty of our architecture on the Moto X. From the ground up, we have several processors, and one of them is dedicated that only uses microamps of battery juice, and it allows the accelerometer and the microphone and
so it's a
the
physical
display to be on.
processor.
It's actually a physical dedicated processor that does not drain the battery at all, dedicated just to keep those sensors on.
Can you customize instead of saying "Okay, Google now"? Can you say?
Currently, it does not allow you. So look at that. It actually woke up to your voice as well right now.
Well, I guess we sound the same.
We're close.
Hello, Google now. Who's the Prime Minister?
To win.
Yeah. What happens when the Google Now commercial comes on, right?
So we built it so that it has a leeway. And if I have a cold or if I wake up in the morning, my voice is a little bit different than when it is normally throughout the day. So
cover your mouth and try it.
I don't know if it's that good, but let's see. Okay, you can go backwards. Okay, Google now.
Oh, come on, that wasn't. You were barely covering.
All right, how about from across the room? How about here? Is that good enough for you? Okay, Google now. There you go. Right?
Will you be able to customize what it eventually? Can you, if you're a Star Trek geek, can you say computer?
Keep me up, Scotty.
On release, we're honed in on that phrase.
Can I rename it Siri?
Right. I'm certain you can't rename it Siri, and right now it's locked into to Google.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So any other questions on touchless control?
And because of the question on the battery life, maybe you could.
Oh yeah,
that now.
absolutely. Yeah, I mean that was a good question. Basically, I'll talk a bit about the battery, but Motorola has a long history of battery innovation, and if you remember, well, you won't remember, but basically the first product that Motorola released in 1928
You better not remember.
was a battery eliminator for car radio.
Yeah, the good old days.
Yeah, so we took that technology and we built it in. We made sure that the battery on the Moto X, even though it has all these capabilities, you still get an all day and all night battery Moto X usage. It's 18 hours of talk time and it's 24 hours of mixed usage. Despite all those sensors being on and ready to respond to you.
Is it possible to turn that off if you?
You can turn off the touchless display, the touchless control. You can turn off. Yeah, it comes in from the box. It comes in. It asks you whether you want to turn it on or not. But default is on, and then you can opt out easily.
So for OK Google now, if you put a pattern unlock, what happens when you say OK Google now?
So there's different types of secure elements. For example, if it's a message or with active display, if it's a message that you want to get to, you won't be able to, if I want to respond to the text message, if I swipe up like we did before, it'll actually ask you for the PIN before it goes in.
Oh.
But for example,
so quick
capture.
Can you say your PIN in, can you?
No, so you cannot, that capability is not available on Moto X right now, but we have, for example, if you have a Bluetooth enabled, you have your Bluetooth headset on, that one you can tell Moto X that it's a secure element, so it won't lock as long as that Bluetooth is there. You can still make your calls with that Bluetooth headset connected to the device. Oh. So there's secure elements in there, but you can't, to your point, you cannot authenticate using your voice. And we chose to do that because what if you're in public or someone's listening in, then they got your PIN, basically.
Okay.
And yeah, you were going into the example of the quick capture. I
Right,
think
so
that's a good one.
so there's two levels of security. For example, quick capture, even if you have a PIN, you won't. It's not launching the camera is not PIN enabled. Basically, you can still launch the camera without needing to go
And you
into your
can
PIN.
take the picture.
And you can take the picture, but to actually access or do anything else, access the phone, then you still have to put in your PIN.
So if you want to then from there access the gallery, then it will ask you for your PIN because then it would, require more personal access,
You're getting
right?
into the device itself. It's not just the surface level.
So it's only truly hands-free if you've got a Bluetooth headset or if you don't have a password or.
So if you lock your device, then there are certain functions that you will still need to unlock. We have an accessory that we're working on that we're working to get into Canada hopefully soon here. So that will help you unlock the device by just having the accessory. So similar to what Tony was saying on Bluetooth, where it would have that connection, that would be that. Just always on with that accessory to unlock it.
Okay.
The voice control, will that be available to third-party developers?
Oh,
Or is that it's just made?
so for apps, you mean like to?
I know in the US they're making a developer version of the device that they can open those APIs for, but on the consumer side, it's usually pretty locked down.
No, that's what I mean. I mean, will other software developers be able to take advantage of that function?
Right, so I mean, I can only speak for Canada. Right now, we don't have that available
okay.
because it's the consumer
Okay.
version of the device. Okay, another experience, and this that I want to talk about is what we're calling active display. And this came out from our studies of the consumer's behavior. So we saw in our studies that the average consumer turns on their device, their display, between 5 and 10 seconds, and they do this repeatedly between 60 and 100 times a day. When we honed in to see why, it turns out that they want to see the time, they want to check the time, so they quickly turn it on and turn it back off, or they see that blinking LED light that they have some kind of notification, but it doesn't tell them much more information than that. And so what they do is they go through 3 steps. You power on a display, you put in your PIN to unlock it, and then you swipe down your notification bar. Well, with active display, you no longer have to do that. You get your notifications as well as the time in a very non-intrusive, pulsing manner that even though it's just sitting there, I'm in line of sight to it and I see the exact time and I see the exact notifications that I have available for me. So here I see that I have a text message, call, email, voicemail, so on and so forth.
So will it pulse when it's in your pocket?
So that's an excellent question, Howard. Leads me to the next point, which is it recognizes, so that chip that we talked about, there's another chip specifically for context awareness. And what it does is it recognizes when it's in your pocket, it recognizes when it's in your purse, and it recognizes when it's face down on a table. And when it is in one of those states, it doesn't pulse anymore. So further reducing battery usage.
What about when you're sleeping?
So again,
Does it listen for you snoring?
Well, I mean, it could, but that won't trigger it. And as soon as you turn it over, you see that it lit up right away. So I know I have a text message, and if I want to see what it is, those are active notifications. So I could just tap on it, and it gives me all the information that I need. Most of the time, that's all I need. I have the entire text message right there. If I don't respond, I just swipe up, and it goes directly into the application so I can respond.
But to your point about while sleeping, there is a sleep mode
Yeah, so
also.
Will it toggle itself, or do you have to tell it?
The Moto Assist feature that we talked about earlier, that it knows you're in the car. There's a feature, there's a setting for it that it knows you're sleeping. Basically, you set the hours for it, and it knows when you're in a meeting. It actually has links into your calendar.
Is this a continuation of that program that shipped with the Razor, HD and the Razor?
It's the next
Active.
evolution. Smart Actions.
Yeah.
Smart Actions, you mean? It's
Yeah,
the next
Smart
evolution of it.
So this
Again,
doesn't
geared-
come with Smart Actions, it comes with the successor
With
too.
assist,
Right,
Motorola assist.
which is geared more towards the consumers and how they use it most. Okay?
So the Assist is like an app, you can configure it. Is it
Yeah.
NFC aware? And I think that other program, you could also configure the GPS to.
Yeah, it's
To-
not
to, like-
it's not as techy as the other one. Like that one was great for for tech heads, you know, or nerds, including myself, basically, where I could.
Almost a programming mode.
Yeah, it was like programming. It was very pure logic. If
Yeah, you
then.
can tell if I'm at home, then do this.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This
exactly.
is much simpler.
This is much similar for the average consumer. So you could see it, right? It tells you that the tasks you do most, so it can automate them for you. So it has the same concept, but much more simplified for the consumers.
Mm-hmm.
Another couple of features that I want to talk to you about are I think those are like really cool features that you don't get to see every day. For example, it's a hassle, I'm sure. You get as many phones as I do, or you switch phones as much as I do. And it's a hassle to bring all your information from your old device to your new device. Well, we took care of that with Motorola Migrate. Now, switching to your Moto X is very cool and very easy and very simple. What I mean by that is not only do we transfer over the SIM contacts and the media files, like pictures, videos, music, so on and so forth, but, this is really cool, all your call history, everyone you called and who called you on your old device, those get transferred over, as well as all your text messages. So you have true continuity between your old device and your new Moto X.
How does that work?
So, good question. The way that it works is, again, no wires, no connection, no tethering or any of that. It works through a Wi-Fi direct connection between your old device and your Moto X. You just download the same application, the Motorola Migrate. You see that was step 1, I launched it. Step 2, it tells me to download the application on my old device. Step 3, it gets the QR code. So I scan it, and it opens the Wi-Fi connection, the Wi-Fi direct peer-to-peer connection, and it does a transfer.
What if my old device is a Windows phone or an iPhone?
So right now, it does all this for Android to Android, all Android from Froyo forward, and we're working to the Moto X, from Android to Moto X, sorry. And going forward, we're still working on releasing the iOS version, and then so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Any questions? All right. And the last feature that I want to talk about, it's not really on the device, but it speaks to, it's on settings on the device, but it speaks to the integration or the close collaboration between Google and Motorola. We know that messages and phone calls are important to you, those notifications are important to you, regardless of the screen that you happen to be looking at, whether it's your laptop or your handset. So what we did is we worked with Google's Chrome browser team, and we developed extensions that plug into the Chrome browser and allow you to see who's calling, as well as reply and create text from your computer, even though they're actually going through your phone. So you can have your phone, you know, let's say you forgot it, or you're in the cottage and you don't want to roam, you keep your phone at home, plugged in or powered up, and on your computer you just log into the Chrome browser and you get to see who's calling you, and you get to also see who's texting you, as well as you create your own texts. So that's Motorola Connect.
It's like the opposite of the web top.
Right, where you plug that one in. Yeah, this one, you have access to the information that you need anywhere you are, anywhere, regardless of the screen you're staring at.
And if you text from your computer, the history, that text history, will still be logged onto
your device.
So
not only that, if you
everything still.
Exactly, and to take it a step further, to Adil's point, if you get like 5 messages, I know there's other solutions out there, but if you get 5 messages, those solutions, even though you reply to them on your computer, they tell you that you have 5 new messages. But with Moto X, you don't, because it's truly synced. They're not new. You're responding to them already.
Will it send the calls also?
The calls, you'll see the calls coming up. You can't answer them, but you can send them to voicemail, or you can respond with text telling them that you'll call them later. Another item I want to talk, so that's it from my experiences perspective. I will also have a few things that are kind of exclusive to the Moto X as well.
Yeah, what happened to all the Kevlar that Motorola, that was the Moto thing for the past 2 years.
Sorry, for this particular design, we actually went with a composite. And so what happens with that is that if there's any scratching, then it's still composite, right? So it will still look beautiful, like the same as today. So that's the material that we chose for that was the composite, and it also has a very pleasing texture. If you touch it, it has like a soft touch.
Yeah.
So it will, it feels really good in the hand, like very natural.
It looks bumpy, but it's not.
It's not exactly.
Right.
It's a really great balance.
But it does have like a little bit of stickiness, so it doesn't slip,
slide off.
Slide off. Yeah.
Mm.
But for the durability, the composite obviously is going to be great and resistant. But we really aimed at the display. It's for the Gorilla Glass.
Is it the same display as the Razer HD?
Actually, yeah, it's very close. It's very close, and I see that you have the HTC one. It's actually the same display.